This call is now being recorded.
Hey, Sunray.
Hey, something else. How you doing today?
It's a lazy Sunday, crazy dreams, exacerbated by the Netflix shows that I've been watching. and then I woke up and we were going to meet, and I started watching The Way of the Househusband on Netflix, you know, the anime. And we already said we were going to talk about it here because it's not enough to talk about on an actual podcast. But it's still funny. It stays funny. And it makes me all the more, mad is a strong word, but disappointed, unhappy with the live action version Ingenuity of The Househusband. Did you watch, you watched The Way of the Househusband. Did you watch the Ingenuity of a Househusband?
I watched both, yes.
Okay, so what you think?
I've not caught up with the new episodes of The Way of the Househusband because some new ones have been released, so I haven't watched those. But the first, I think it was 7 or 8 they put out, I watched those.
Okay, when you say 7 or 8, you mean like actual, like all in one episode, or do you mean like episodes? Because
episodes
it's
of
like,
The Way of the Househusband, the anime.
So what are the new ones you're looking at? Because I just looked at it and they didn't add any new ones. It's the same 5 or 6 or whatever.
They put it out like it was new again on Netflix. So I thought they added the new episodes.
Let me see, because I was right up in there. Yeah, like when I go back and look, they only still have 5 episodes. Wait, let me see it. You know how sometimes they'll sneak and put they'll have a season 1 and season 2. No, it's still season 1. It's still season 1. So
then I saw the first 3, it looks like.
Okay. And then, like, it's crazy because every one episode, one of the 5, has, like, 5 sections, if you will.
Yeah.
Right. So, but tell me what you thought at least of The Way of the Househusband before we talk about how sweet trash the Ingenuity one is.
So The Way of the Househusband I enjoyed because it was an interesting take on a Yakuza, and I hope I'm getting the gang right because sometimes I confuse the Japanese and Korean gangs. Is a Yakuza, is that Japanese or is that Korean?
Japanese.
Okay, so he was part of the Yakuza and he was a member of the gang and he must have been a high-level member based upon The Way of the Househusband. And then just watching how he became, quote-unquote, domesticated once he gave up his criminal life and the stuff that he was, learning and doing around the house to help out, as well as still dealing with trying to steer clear of the other members of the gang who were trying to re-put him back in it and add him back to their madness. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. And honestly, I was excited, super excited for Ingenuity, which was the live action, because I was looking for a lot of the same. Exactly.
Especially since his name is Kenjiro Tsuda. It's like I'm reading it in my head. Tsuda is the one who voiced it in the anime, was the actor in the live action. So I was like, oh, you fine in voice and in real life, sir. So I was like all ready for it. And when I started watching it, I was like, okay, this gives me Marie Kondo all day long. When we gonna see the wife? When we gonna see?
Because I kept going, okay, is she going to show up now? Okay, let me watch another one. Maybe she'll show up then. Okay, maybe in the next one they'll show us his friend. Okay, well maybe, and I just kept going until I was finally like, really? This is what y'all did?
Right. And so to me, it was like a low-key, low-rent, like intro, like, hey, let's do a proof of concept of why you should have a full-fledged live action. Let's give you like 30 minutes. Because that's what it all comes down to. It's like 5-minute blocks or 5 or 6 minute blocks that equal 30 minutes. So that was the first season. I was like, y'all needed to hire another actress. I don't know if this was in the middle of COVID, and so they were just trying to do something fun. I mean, this is what I would give it. It was very stylish. The setting was attractive. The setting of the house and the yard were attractive. He's handsome. It taught me some stuff. It taught me some housekeeping tips. But anything that you really loved about the anime was missing. The humor was missing. The side characters were missing. The cat was there. The cat was there. The cat was there. But it wasn't like what I wanted, what I loved about the anime, because that one, and mind you, it wasn't like I was like ride or die for the anime, like I was about to get a tattoo of him on my arm or something like that. But it was cute. It was the idea and the premise of it was cute. And the juxtaposition between his kind of old life and his new life, and the fact that the way he must have been ride or die for his gang is now the way he's ride or die for like housekeeping. And so I'm like, y'all could have done better by this character. What do you think?
I'm going to have to totally agree. Again, I just felt like they left out the stuff that made the way of the house husband interesting. Ingenuity of the house husband was truly and really a housekeeping show. Like a housekeeping show with a handsome man. And like you said, with a stylized design and nice backdrop and, the house and the yard and all of that was interesting, but he never left the house. Like, he didn't even go to the store that we saw. Like, it was just, I don't know. I was not I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy with it.
Are you on speaker or are you close to the... Oh, okay, because I can't hear you as well. It's like I can hear you, but you're garbled a little. So, just to let you know. But no, it's like, I don't know. This is the part one of that for the live action one. And also, someone described it, because I went looking at articles, and someone kind of described it as, I forget what it was. Something along the lines of like it was a bonus season. And I was like, y'all could have kept that. Like, y'all
bonus to what though?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if this is like to augment the animation, I don't get it. I'm like, if you're going to bonus something, then give us bonus of what we love. If y'all have money to burn, give us more of what you really liked. If you're going to give us the real guy, then cut his little bit of check or whatever he was doing and give it to a wife. Give her some purple hair and run her up in here and have her run in the background. Because, see, what she offered other than the authenticity of, yes, he is a house husband because here is his wife, was also that, she was deadpan. Like, she didn't take him seriously. She had her own little quirky humor, too, because I don't know what she used to do, but she can handle a knife. So,
yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, she has some background too. Like when they went to the market and she was just like, he tripping. It's okay. It kind of balanced him out. And so for that to be missing, I was like, and then you see the old people when he was like in volleyball and they were like really playing hard, with the gang and stuff. I was like, okay, so let me put it to you this way. Not put it to you this way, but let me make another point. Remember the episode where he was hosting a party? I got all amped up because I was like, oh, we're going to see his friends.
Exactly.
And then all we saw were the remnants of the post-party.
Yeah.
I was like, if y'all just messed us up again. Y'all just played us up again. I was like, Now, y'all can keep this. I don't care if you keep it or not. Y'all can keep this because it was low-key, boring. Let me just put it out there. It was boring.
And again, I watched only because I had seen the anime Way of the House Husband, and I was excited thinking I was getting that. But yeah, I was not happy. And again, I pressed through all of them because I kept going, okay, maybe in the next episode. Okay, maybe in the
Right.
next episode. Okay, maybe in the, okay.
Right. And even in the live action, they didn't really speak to. They didn't explain that he was ex-Yakuza. They just
No.
assumed that we watched the anime. It was like super shortcuts. I'm like, nah, you didn't even give us the backstory. Like, y'all didn't give us anything. Y'all just gave us a male Marie Kondo. That's all you
Yeah.
did. I was like, that's disrespectful. That's hella disrespectful.
So,
Because it
yeah, I
got
feel
me
you
all
'cause
happy. Oh, go on. What'd you say?
no, I was just saying, I feel you because I know I felt the same. I was just, let down, disappointed. And I'm like, okay, I learned some cleaning techniques, but yeah.
Yeah, Tyler sharpen a knife. That's nice. That's interesting. But only so interesting. It's not, how to replace one of the panels, those paper panels in those
Oh, yeah.
old school Japanese homes. I was like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. Not that I ever needed it.
Exactly. The only
But,
one that stuck out for me was cleaning the pans, the mixture he used for cleaning the pans.
oh, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if they had dispersed those bits and pieces in the actual live, like the anime kind of storylines, oh my God, it would have been gold. It would have been gold. People would have been like, can we have more? Because that would have been a nice mix. But okay, it's what it is. And
True that.
right, I can only bitch about it so long, right? Like, you can only be like, I'm disappointed. I'll move on. Heck, I watched it all. And when I was looking at articles, because I was like, well, maybe I got it wrong. I swear. I was like, they had different names. Maybe I got it completely wrong somehow. So I had to look it up. And it felt like anyone who was really talking about, like, did any kind of real article was pulling from a press release. Like, they didn't give any kind of real opinion. And no one spoke to the fact that it don't look anything like the anime. That was like a
Right.
glaring, obvious thing. I was like, did y'all actually watch this? Because it's only an hour to watch the animation, and it's only 30 minutes to watch the live action. So were y'all lazy? Because y'all didn't even speak to the real. I'm like, do I need to do a blog post? Like, so it's out there. Like, don't get disappointed. Heads up. Watch him because he's fine and it's wrestling. But don't be like,
I'm about to say
to laugh.
you might need to go ahead and do the blog post because if there's nothing out there, put it out there.
My gosh. I don't know. We'll see, because I'm lazy too. Anyway, so the other thing we were going to talk about, if you don't have anything else for the house husband, was Always and Forever Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. Please, you go first, because you got more before I wax poetic.
So, Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, we're not doing like a full pod here, but just for those of you who have been watching, it's with Kim Soo-young. Oh, geez, I'm going to mess it up names. Hold on one second. But, old guy from Startup, that's where everybody is pulling from. Now, mind you, he's been in plenty of other things, but that's where everybody is pulling from. But any which way.
But I'm so for this, because the minute I saw that, like, he was going, I mean, he's been working steady, right? But when I saw who his lead was going to be, I was like, okay, they're going to finally do right by Jay Pugh. They're going to finally do right by him, because he didn't get the girl in Startup. Spoiler, if you didn't know, catch up. So I was like, it's about time. And he got all kinds of swagger in this one. So I was like, y'all did right by my boy. Anyway, go on.
But in which case, just in this story, he's like the village chief. They're in a small village, seaside village, Gongjin, and she comes in and she opens up a dentistry because they don't have a dentist there. He's like the chief, and he does all these like little side jobs to help the community out. In which case, he's got a serious backstory. We don't know what it is, but he has a serious backstory that I guess we'll be, figuring out later on as we keep watching. The two of them have like this little spark going on, but they've added in now the love triangle. But initially, before we even got to this part and while we were going to talk, was just about her and her personabilities as she's come into this town and her ways, like the way she was basically approaching him, the people, just, how she was functioning. And initially she drove me batty. She drove me batty because it was like she came in as, and for anybody who, it's not like we've been to Seoul, so we don't know about South Korea to speak in terms of what it's really like, but just in concept of city life to country life, because that's how we're going to look at the seaside people as like country, a little small country village or a small town. But in which case, she came in with her big city ideas and was kind of rude on a regular basis to the people, and it just kind of ticked me off, like, how much ruder is she going to be, and we're going to just keep watching this and act like it's all good. I'm grateful to see as we've moved into, what episode was today?
Man, I can't remember.
Neither can I, that's sad. But whatever episode, I was trying to help give some perspective to what we were talking. So I think episode today might have been 8. Oh, 6. Okay, 6. So episode 6 was, no, because today is the 19th. So episode 8, I was right, episode 8. Episode 8, today they brought in and, gave some perspective into her kind of learning. But initially she just came in and she was like coming in hot and heavy, slamming the people, talking about the way they do things, talking about their gossiping. I mean, just, I don't know, it was rude, and it was rude enough to make her dislikable. Like, I really like Shimina, but overall, just her positioning and how she first showed up in this drama, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to finish with you because you are like an ass.
Well, you know what? It's like I totally relate to what you're saying. I think I gave her a little bit more room because pretty much from the beginning, like at the very beginning, you see that she is stand up, and you see that she is like she believes in her occupation, and she wants to be fair and an advocate to her patients. So they painted her as maybe a little bit cold, a little bit unlikable, but she wasn't coming from this like complete bitchy, like rude place. She wasn't malicious. She was just like socially awkward to me. She was just like, she didn't know the ways. She was a city mouse in the country because she didn't know that she was going to have to actually deal with people. Like she was used to dealing with people in bursts because she worked with them. And you could see that she was kind to her coworkers. You could see that she was kind to her patients, but she just wasn't comfortable with like neighborly life because like think about that old lady who was trying to be friendly to her. She like froze up. Like she just, I think that between losing her mother at a young age and even in school, you could like based on what we learned about her college life, she was like in her books and very narrowly focused. And it seemed like when she would put herself out there trying to like date or whatever, the guy, at least in one instance, the guy was just like not really kind. So I think she just built up this wall. Like she has, it helps it. We see that she has a best friend. She has someone who cares about her and she cares about that. So I think that kind of balanced out the fact that, yeah, she was definitely Snooty Snoot. She definitely was bougie. Like, she was everything bougie that you and I know about in America, right?
Right.
Like to me, she was like that black chick who's just like, oh, see, I have this and that and the other. I'm driving this kind of car. I have this kind of job. Like, she wrapped herself in bougie to make up for the fact that she was bruised, that she was, emotionally bruised, and she didn't know how to deal with people. And then here's this dude, and he doesn't just notice it. He calls her on it. And so that's why she was not liking that town in the first place. Like, he made her work. He was not friendly to her for real. He saw her. He saw, like, all that bougie, and he was not interested. Like, I almost wanted to be like, dude, why are you being mean to her? But then, ma'am, you throw out bougie, you get, some dude who's clowning you. So it's like,
and I'm going to say, I don't even think, because I'm in a group chat for Cha Cha Cha, And in the group chat, that was one of the things people were like, oh, he's so mean, he's so rude, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, I don't find him to be that mean or rude. I find him to be responding to what she's giving. It's like, you give this is what you're getting back. And so when he tried to be decent and, he was curt, I will give that, he was curt. But when he tried to, kind of open up and be a little kinder and she kept coming with her bougie, it was like, oh, hell no, I got to deal with this. So I understood totally.
Yeah, I think they kind of immediately clashed for one reason or another, and that's what I like about the show, because they don't just give you the clash. At the end, they give you the subtext. Like, this is what was really going down. Because it kind of softens the edges that you initially are dealing with. But, like, for example, when she first meets him on the beach and she has one shoe, and you can physically see and feel like she is uncomfortable with water, for real, for real. This dude gave her no friendly. He didn't even know her from anyone. He didn't even need to be like that. So, yeah, from the very get-go when they dealt with each other, he was rude. Because it's like he could have been like,
I'm going to go for some stranger that I don't know. I'm going to go dig out into the sea, the ocean, and try and find your shoe.
He didn't have to do that, but he could have said something other than basically F you, like, this is what you got for a pork job, because that's what he did. He could have been like, you know what, I think that shoe is gone. There's a whole ocean out there. We're not going to be able to find this shoe. Like, he could have just said it nicely. I mean, and the thing is, he's like her, just in the opposite way.
Yeah.
She leaves with, or maybe they are exactly the same, because he led with being a hard ass, and he was like, well, here, have my shoes. So he was doing her a solid, and then she wanted to be bougie. He was like, you mean you don't even want to take these free shoes? It's like they both are the same, but they just don't do it at the same time. When she's being, bougie, he's irreverent. And then they kind of switch. And then every once in a while they click, and it's like, does it take liquor to do that? Unfortunately, sometimes it does for them. But all of a sudden they click, or they help each other. Like in this latest episode, he gets hurt and he's feeling sick. She comes in, her food is for trash, but she tries. She cares about him. She shows up. She gets him some tangerines to, like, soften the blow of her jacked up porridge or whatever. So it's like they care about each other, but they both are so defensive that they've kind of formed a weird friendship that is actually the strongest relationship. I mean, well, for her, maybe the second strongest relationship on that, on that island. Not island. Damn, why I keep on wanting to put him on an island? It's so weird. But, and he has stronger relationships, but you know what I'm saying. Like, even that nosy lady, she was like, you know me for years, and you're defending her. I was like, she gonna be his wife one day. That's why he's doing it. He just doesn't know it yet. He don't know it yet.
But I think both of them are beginning to see it and feel it. So, like, that's how come I said I'm speaking in terms of her then, because I feel like now she has gotten to the space where she is willing, because even when she was trying to report the woman and call the police, her friend was able to talk her down, and, she thought better of it. And so then when she had the opportunity to speak with the other restaurant owner and get the backstory of what had happened with her, she, was able to amend her ways. Where before she couldn't even apologize, and that was one of the things that kind of disturbed me about her too, because bougie is one thing, but when you have been called out on your wrong and you know you're wrong, but you still can't pull yourself together to try to fix it, like, and let's keep it 100. She didn't apologize, because now that I'm thinking back to that scene, she didn't apologize. What she did was she offered an olive branch to the lady, and the lady apologized to her. But it's just like, I don't know, I feel like
well, what did she
the humbling of her took a little minute, and it seemed a little bit like, good God, is she going to, like, stand and die on this rock? Like, come on, man, come on down.
No, but what did she have to apologize for?
Well, not necessarily. I guess she didn't really have anything to apologize for, but she was the one who, again, like I'm saying, I'm giving her that she has come to a place where now she's able to offer the olive branch. She's able to sometimes it's not always about saying I'm sorry, but sometimes it's being the bigger person, and she was able to be the bigger person in that scene.
Yeah, I think she's getting better at it, but I think she's also had a history now. This isn't the first time that she's been like, you know what, I really want to touch you, but this is what I'm going to do instead. Like with the old lady, you know, this is what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to come to you and work out a deal, you know, because that's part of it too. It's kind of like creative, emotional intellect. Like,
yeah, but I still feel like with the old lady, she should have apologized.
what happened with the old lady again? With the old
I can't
lady?
remember, but she was dead ass wrong. I'm gonna tell you that.
What happened? I know with the old lady, it was that the old lady did not want to pay to have her teeth done, and she was saying something about either the family. There was something. I don't know if she was completely dead ass wrong, but she came up with a solution.
She did, but I'm not sure there was something that it was, and it had to do with the old lady, if I'm mistaken. She was dead wrong. There was no way around trying to make her be right for this one. She was wrong. And instead of just apologizing and saying, you know what, I'm sorry, I misjudged or I assumed without talking to you about your situation, she, you know, like you said, she came around with something else. And again, I'm giving that I feel like she is growing as a character. Just initially, she came across like over the top, and she wasn't willing to compromise her crazy in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think that early on, definitely, but I think that there in the middle there are instances where, and maybe she and I are more alike than I knew, but there are instances where there's the logical thing that a person would expect or do, and then having to adjust because you're adjusting to how people are, and she doesn't completely know how these people are, so she's bumping it in weird ways, like, unless you're in that small town, you don't know that history to give that person a little bit of room or a pass, you know, because if I remember the old lady situation, like, dude basically puts her on his shoulders and carts her in there and is like, you need to be seen because your teeth are not right. And then she's like, hey, you know what, that's what she asked. She was like, do you not have the money to handle this? And the woman, you know, the grandmother is all up in her pride and her feelings, even though it is about money. And so she's saying,
no, it wasn't about money. She had the money. It wasn't about her not being able to pay for it. It was more about she wanted to do something else with her money. I don't think she wanted to spend it for that because she felt like that was a unnecessary expense.
Which
she wound up paying the girl the full amount.
Right, but which was her right. But ma'am, if you have other plans for your money, don't act insulted when you clearly have a mouth issue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, we're going to have to agree to disagree.
Because I'm like, if you got a clear issue with your mouth, and you want to be insulted because somebody asked you the obvious thing, like, do you not have the money to do it? And then even dude came back thinking she didn't have the money because that's why he was trying to like finagle some kind of like discount or something, you know. And she was like, I'm not gonna do a discount. And he has his back up like, you're not gonna do her a solid. And it's because she just thinks differently. So then she came around with her own, I will do this for just the price of, you know, the crown or whatever it was. Like she met him at where he was trying to go. She just did it differently. But nowhere near was she like insulting to the grandma because the grandma was the one.
And again, we are agreeing to disagree because I feel like she was, and there was no need for her to take it to that point because it was enough that he even had to say to her, wow, did you have to say it like that? Did you have to come across like that? And so that's where my point is coming at, is that like,
you know,
I'm still waiting.
I remember what it was. It was like she berated the grandmother because she was like, what the heck? You have to do yeah, she berated the grandmother. Yeah. Because I understand it, but she did berate the grandmother for basically like not taking care of herself. Like,
and again, that's my point. I don't think she ever is coming across or trying to be a evil Henri. No, I don't think it's that, but I just feel like it's kind of like when you're dealing with people who are socially awkward. And when you're socially awkward, sometimes you might not know how to say things to people, which is fine. But over time, you got to begin to pay attention to the I call them signals, the signals that are released so that you can, I'm a person who is a firm believer in read your room and knowing who you're dealing with. And so if you don't read the room and know what's going on before you start talking or before you start dealing, then you run the course of possibly offending or being offended, and you can't get upset behind the results because guess what? You should have came in and paid a little bit of attention prior to you opening your mouth or prior to you doing what you're doing. And so in that scene and in that situation, I just felt like for her, she was determined to speak what she felt was righteous. And, ma'am, chill out. It wasn't that serious. This is what she's choosing to do. And so come at it from another angle. Go sit and talk to her about, well, ma'am, do you realize why you want to keep your teeth? You're like, I don't know. Have some bedtime manners, something. I don't know. But I'm giving again that I feel like she's making growth. I'm appreciating the growth because initially she was a turnoff to me.
So what did they say on the chat rooms or in the chat rooms?
Well, so some people left the chat because they were done with the drama because of her. Other people, like I said, were giving the same basic information you're saying that, well, it's not that bad and I feel like it's this or I feel like it's that. Other people are upset about him because they feel like he's been a hard ass and he's been a hard nose to her and he hasn't been as accommodating as he could have been. So it's kind of like everybody's all over with their opinions about it, but I think we're beginning to see it gel now that we're into episode 8, halfway through, I'm assuming, because I think this is a 16th episode, or I'm not 100% sure. But I feel like it's beginning to gel now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I would say easily maybe 2 episodes back, I just realized how brilliant the show was. I was just like, I really enjoy the show. I really enjoy this slice of life. I really enjoy that it's out in the countryside and it's not in the middle of the city anymore because everything is city life. And then, I mean, everything isn't, but when they give you country life, they make it slow as molasses. And you don't have like kind of, like I'm thinking about, what was that, where the weather is fine or whatever, where it was just like, okay, it's cold and like windy and y'all are just the slowest folks who falling in love ever. I was just like, no. And, there are other shows that are good and not in Seoul, of course, but, or in a city, a major city. But it's just like this.
Because Racket Boys was set in the countryside and it was good. And it had pretty, picturesque and pretty things that they showed you about the country. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool. But that's what I'm saying. I'm sure that there are others, and I'll watch them. But this is just the latest, greatest for me. And
right.
I like both characters. I like that they zig and zoom back and forth. I like the side characters. The minute dude showed up, I was like, I remember him for when she got her heart broken because she had eavesdropped when the guy that she liked in college was clowning her, and the guy that she turned around to when she was leaving was him. So I was like, oh, it's over. He liked her back then. I knew it from get-go. The minute I saw him, I was like, oh, okay, so he showed up. That's nice. That's interesting. So he's been checking for her for a while, but he never closed the deal. He didn't shoot a shot. He just better. That's not shooting a shot. That's kickball, sir. That is not basketball. That's you need to step it up this time. And so it's funny to me because he was like asking, so does she have a boyfriend? Is she talking to anyone? And old dude was like, why are you asking me? I was like,
yeah, he went bananas. That made me holler.
He was like, why are you asking me? You need to ask her. Like, you need to, when you just asking questions now, is that what y'all doing? Asking questions I can't answer, I'm not qualified to answer? Then he got up and ran away. I was like, oh.
And the whole episode was freaking hilarious because he spent a lot of time just like, oh, he's helping out everybody now. Oh, he's showing up everywhere. Oh, it's just that. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at you.
Well, you know what? I thought that was brilliant because he is exactly oh boy. Mm-hmm. They're both 34 years old in 2 months. they're both highly qualified. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're both capable. They're both smart. They're both the same. They're the same dude, just in different places. So, and they're both in their own ways attentive to her. So I was like, dude,
because the one went to her with the different things to help out with someone stalking. Like, you know, I don't know what the name of it is, but like he gave her the kit of the baton, the sound, the spray, something, whatever it was. And then the other one, he went out and he was doing the patrolling of the neighborhood. I was like, oh, get y'all.
Right. They both have the same focus, doing it different ways. And then the fact that, you know, new guy is like, you know, seducing the whole damn town. And because, you know, he's bringing that group in and he's, you know, and they're filming. He's very high profile, you know, and I feel bad because, you know, why am I blanking on his name? But because he's their boy, he's their guy, but they're going to take him for granted because here's the new and isn't this interesting? And, you know, like he's always been there to support them. And, you know, I love that they have like the mysteries that, you know, her best friend is like, hey, this town has 3 mysteries, like keeping us on focus. Like there are questions out there that we have not answered. And one of them is who won the lotto? Now the easy answer to me would be, oh boy, but I feel like that's too easy. I think it's too easy to assume that he's the one who won the lotto. So because he wants to get paid minimum wage, not more, not less. Like, he's so particular. But I'm like, is that because he won the lotto? So he just wants to, like, make things fair, but he's not trying to, like, make money or do any, you know, he has no grander aspirations for money or professional growth or anything. He's just working around town. Like, whatever messed him up and had him shook, he's like, I'm back in my hometown. I'm making a wage. I'm going about my business. So I'm like, is he the one who won the lotto? Because if it were any of the other players, they'd have moved a little bit differently, unless it's the grandma. But even then, maybe it's the grandma.
I don't think it's him, and that's just me personal, because I think he probably makes his money somewhere else. I think he is probably investing or doing something like of that nature where we would go, oh crap, really? Okay, that's where his money comes from. Which is why he could take off and say, you know, because that's the other thing. He's able to take off and say, nope, I'm not working and you're not going to make me. And that cracks me up like, wow, he is holding fast and true. When he says it's his off day, it's his off day and he's not playing with y'all.
Right. So I'm like, that's going to be an interesting answer to that mystery.
Yeah.
And then there are other mysteries. Oh, yeah. Oh, girl. So I did like a whole little screenshot of that one. So bitter wife, I get why I call her bitter wife, but it's really hurt wife. So I get why hurt wife is hurt. I get it. Not completely, because her husband, she should have thrown him back a long time ago. Like, but anyone who pays half-ass attention will realize that the young woman is not checking for him. Like, she's not running after him. She's not pressed about him. She's pressed about her. She's not pressed about her husband. So that's why I was like, that's what's going down there.
Because, you know, I did not pay attention to that. Like, honestly, I noted that she was not necessarily running up on him, but I also took it as, in her head, it seems like, from what I pulled, it to me seemed like she was spending more time wanting to rekindle all of their old whatever it is she thought they had. And that's, to me, what's interesting, because I find in life sometimes this happens, and especially when you've experienced things with other people, when you go back years later and you talk about it, everyone has a different perspective of that one thing. And so while you might have thought, oh, this was the latest and the greatest and the awesomest, they might be thinking, oh, this was some bullshit because da-da-da-da, while somebody else was thinking, oh, it was all right. It was, it was no big deal. So, like, everybody has their own perspective in the scene or the situation. And so with old girl, I think she must have really enjoyed the time she spent as a group of friends hanging out, while the other one thought she was the blockage to whatever was going on, and for him, he was busy sniffing up her butt the whole time.
Right. It was like going in one direction. So I feel like the young one was like checking for the wife was checking for the husband was checking for the young one, and things didn't, they gave the impression like there was some kind of open liking going on, but then she picks up and goes off, and when she comes back, she's so not pressed about him. Like, she's so not pressed. I mean, if you're really trying to rekindle a friendship all around, then you're really trying to rekindle it all around. She's not buying gifts for him.
No, but like she is saying, let's go to dinner all together. Let's do this together. Like, I feel like, again, just me personal, I feel like, again, I think that in her head, they were a great group of friends. For her and old girl, I think she feels the weirdness because, it is an awkward situation. She feels the awkwardness and she wants to kill that tension, and she doesn't know how to straighten that up.
Right. I think I can lean and I could do 50-50 and just see how it flows. But I definitely was like, especially when her wife was just like, we can't be friends. On one hand, I'm like happy for anyone who kind of protects themselves, and is like, hey, I'm not going to be uncomfortable just to be uncomfortable, just for the sake of the room. I'm not going to do that. But the flip side is, that was your friend. And just because, and you're the one who dumped your husband because she was completely out of the picture and y'all couldn't make it work. So why are you acting like, that's what I didn't understand. Like, when the husband came along, for purely to save face, I'd have been like, go for it. Because she dumped him. And I didn't know if she dumped him and asked for the divorce because he was catting around or always checking some other chick, checking for some other chick or something like that. I don't completely know why, because that's one of the mysteries, right? But I'm like, that he maybe treated her more like a friend than a lover. She knows that. Like, she walked away from that. So I'm like, why you mad at this chick?
Yeah.
Why you mad? Because you like, he even said, he was like, you asked for the divorce. Now, she never asked for divorce because she realized he's not showing the same level of caring that he has shown, I've seen him to show in the past for others. So, because I thought maybe there was some, even before this woman came back to town, I thought there was some, early on, there was like some other woman or something that he was like either flirtatious with. It was something. He had like a reputation in my head. So I was like, but that's not your ex-friend's fault,
No.
Like,
not at all.
So, and yet again, it's, the girlfriend or the wife getting mad at the side chick because of the dude's actions. Like, don't be mad at it.
I know, right? Now, the officer. Let's talk about the officer, because what is going on with him? I can't put my fingers on. Is he? Huh?
He's backwards and messed up. He's getting on my nerves, and I'm like, but he's getting on my nerves. He's getting on my nerves 40%, and 60% is the best friend. She needs to leave him alone because she's chasing, and he ain't trying to be caught. Like, because
I think that's what I'm trying to put my finger on. Like, what are we doing here? What is really going on?
At first, I thought he was just inept and bumbling and just didn't know what the score was. But, come on now. I believe in showing interest. I don't believe in chasing, like hardcore chasing, like down the street, like she's a dog chasing an ambulance. Like, she's doing a lot of work. I'm like, no, that is disrespectful to you, ma'am. No. No.
So you don't think he's interested in her?
I think that he's mostly obtuse, but every time she's put in effort to hang around him and do stuff, he's not 100. He's not invested. He's not interested like that.
Okay. So that was really what I needed. I was just trying to figure out because, like, for me, I can't figure out initially, like you said, I think I thought he was obtuse and just a little lost. But now I kind of feel like, okay, I'm not sure if he really, I don't know. Because he's given her no reason to, not that he's ever asked her out for a date, not that he said, let me come hang out with you. He was kind when he came to the dentist's office, and it seemed like he might have been interested then, but then it kind of like just dropped.
And he seems to give other things his attention when he's in her presence. Other things like, I think one time it was like he had to go back to work. Like he was not pressed.
Yeah.
One time she's like working hard waiting for him. Not like it's his fault that she waited, but like then she's coming up with ideas and he gets sidetracked by something like a poster on a pole.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
is that ain't a sign, literally, that he ain't checking for you, man? Lord, have mercy. And then she was wasting all her good liquid trying to impress this dude. I'd have been like, girl, no, you need that for your face or whatever you're using that product for. She spent a lot of money on that. Man, can you walk away? Like, come on now. Like, there are not a lot of women in this town, right? It's a small town. She is attractive. She is interested. Let him go. Just be friends with him.
Yeah.
Like, but, they're going to turn it around somehow. You're going to find out some little bit and piece about him to make it make sense. And then he's going to give her the time of day and make this grand gesture, and then they'll be together. And she'll be like, oh, he really does like me. That's
you
what
think so? Oh, okay.
They have to
I
do
can't
something
put my
with
finger
friends.
on if I see them even getting together, if it's going to be someone out the blue who slides in.
They got to do something because they gave the friend too much time. Like the friend is the voice of reason, and she pulls her up. She pulls the lead character. Like she's a little bit smarter than the average bear. She pays attention to what's going around town. They're not going to just leave her brokenhearted. They're just not.
And I was about to say, she pays attention a little too much because I am laughing at both times of her running off like she's giving her room to date old boy, and the dentist, is like the loose goose in that one and not catching on. And I'm going, what the hell?
The dentist is a combination of loose goose and knowing that she has a crush on dude and just like running in the opposite direction of that. Because and that's why I love those like small little final scenes where you see the other side of things. Like he knows that she's checking for him. He knows. They each know these things about each other. They just like are pretending like the other one is unaware because he knew she was about to kiss him. Then she walks away. Then he opens his eyes. He knows what's up, but he's going to ignore it because he has his own other issues that maybe he needs to deal with first. So he's going to inadvertently, he's going to end up pushing her one way or the other. Like she's going to first, I'm just guessing, I pull these things out my ear. First, she's going to be obtuse. Then the guy's going to declare himself because he's a fully formed adult. He don't have their hang-ups. He's going to ask her out or get serious or say something along the lines, I really want to go out with you for real. And then she's going to look at old boy like, hey, are you cool with this? Because I don't know if I even want to go out with this dude. I mean, I like him, but I don't even know. And then he's going to be cavalier. He's going to be uninterested. He's going to play that game, do the thing he always does. So then she's going to be like, might as well, because I'm hurt now, and he's not checking for me. So she's going to go out with dude and realize, oh, okay, he's solid. He's not a bad dude. He is everything I thought he was. And, and then little by little, she's going to give up on dude. And then he's going to realize, oh, snap, I need to deal with my issues for real, because I'm losing her. And somewhere in there, everything is going to come out in the open. She's going to realize what's up with him, and she's going to have his back. And then they're going to really kiss or really kind of be more open. And then she's going to feel bad at least the last 3 episodes because she's going to be like, I'm going to have to tell the producer dude that I'm not checking for him for real. And then they're going to be together.
Well, based upon what we see coming up, her father shows up and he is not for one of them.
I think he's not for producer.
For who?
I think he's not going to be for producer. Because producer is used to seducing people. He's used to the long game of convincing people. And I think he's going to try to do the same thing with the father. And then the father's going to meet hometown boy and like him more.
Hometown boy, that's funny.
Yeah. I'm going to have to stick with that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's funny. Hometown boy.
Okay. Yeah, because we got the dentist, the producer. So, I think that's what's going to go down. But see, it's counter to what she might even like or what is cool right now, because really hometown boy is supposed to be the ornery one and the producer is supposed to be the likable one, right? Like on paper.
Right.
So the fact that the father is like, because I don't even understand it working the other way. I mean, suppose the father doesn't like hometown boy.
I mean, it could be because hometown boy officially does not have a job, so,
Maybe, and
I'm talking out some could be's because I have right now I'm just looking at what they gave us and, the way they gave it to us, it was hometown boy, but I don't necessarily know because what you just said made perfect sense. So I'm like, oh, I could see that. But, we'll see. We'll see where they take us with this.
Right. I mean, and also, because I'm thinking about reasons why he would be for the producer. Maybe he's for the producer because he thinks that the producer will encourage her to move back to Seoul.
Well, and I mean, we don't know her dad. Like, we've not really met him other than him sharing. What did he share about her?
Well, the phone calls.
Yeah, but it was something they shared about, like, I guess their past and how his beliefs in her and what he wants for her. But in which case where I'm going is because we don't 100% know how he really moves, she was kind of plasticky almost, where she, was concerned about clothing, concerned about cars, concerned about things, and producer gives her that.
What did you just say?
She was concerned about clothes, cars, shoes, dress, things like that, like what she looked like, and producer can give her that, whereas hometown boy, that's not his run, if that makes sense.
It's not, but that's where I agree with you, because there's a place where the father may be one of those stoic, thoughtful types. You don't say much.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know the dad, so I'm saying I'm playing devil's advocate on both sides. We don't know which way he's going to go because we don't really officially know how he moves.
Right. So we have stuff to look forward to, because I definitely enjoyed the show. I feel like if people are, I get it, because it's the same with me. If I absolutely do not like a character, you can't sway me into you can't sway me into continuing to watch a show. So if people were turned off by her and they're like, absolutely, I'm done, hey, more power to you. Don't waste your time. Move on to the next show. There are too many shows to convince yourself to watch something, right? But if you're on the fence, it's a really good show. It's a really good show.
And that's what I was about to say, because I'm going to say I feel like because there's so much out there's so many dramas to pick from, to choose from, depending on what your style is and what you like. You just have to be willing to, try out some stuff and see what's what. Because, again, this is off topic, but something else, and I had discussed this earlier, Squid Game. Not for me, but other people are all into it and excited about it. Good for you all. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I won't be watching it. I'll just see people comment on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and, take it from there.
Right. And when we were talking about it, My brother was not, hyped about Asian television because when he would see it, it was through the lens of what I was watching. And we have sci-fi in common, but I will watch a Hallmark movie in a heartbeat, and he is not pressed at all ever about those types of films and or shows or anything like that. And so until we both watched Alice in Borderland, he was not checking. And then, but to give you an idea of what he's into, like he's into, of course, science fiction, and so like now he's watching the Orville, and he's into, he liked Alice in Borderland. He liked Devil Judge. He liked that. So he skews in a different direction. I showed him the trailer for Squid Game, or what is it called?
Squid Game.
Okay, for Squid Game, and he was checking for it. He was like, "Oh, I have to check that out." So it's just like if you are a drug dealer and your drug of choice is K-dramas and J-dramas and any A-dramas, then let me teach you, like Biggie Smalls was teaching the game to, of selling drugs. What was the name of that song? I forget the name of the song, but he was like,
Commandments.
Right. So let me give you a tip. Figure out what they like when they're watching American television. Find out if they even like American television. If they're not television watchers, cut it off right then. Don't even let them see your supply. Just keep on going. Don't even talk about shows. Just walk away. Go on and enjoy being with them and not talking about K-dramas, J-dramas, nothing. But if they like television, then find the Asian counterpart to what they like and give it to them. So yeah, if they like Alias, if they like Suits, there is a Suits type show, exactly Suits type show. I think Korean.
Yeah.
Suits or something like that.
Yeah.
Like find the counterpart and give them that, and then pull them in, and then next thing you know, they can pay 50/50 of your EQ or whatever you call that subscription. That's the goal, people. The goal is let's split these subscriptions because they start to add up after a while. Like,
man,
all of them.
Especially if you're trying to catch everything, or at
Right.
least be able to catch everything that you want to catch. Because I feel like I'm all over the place trying to keep up with dramas I want to watch.
And it's not healthy for them. It's not like real drugs. It won't hurt them. Them losing like $10 a month, it won't hurt them. You helping them help you. You get what I'm saying? And the way you do that is you got to use a little bit of emotional intellect. You need to pay attention a little bit. You got to figure out what they like, what they want, and then you give it to them for free. Here you go. Here's a little bit of supply for free. Enjoy that. Oh, if you like it, come on back. Oh, it's on Vicky. Oh, you don't want to watch the commercials? Well, this is what you do. Here you go, baby. That's how you do it. So that's just my tip for y'all. No one's doing that. Man. No one's doing that. Like it's barely ever worked for me. The only reason it worked with you and maybe Heather, I don't even think it worked with Heather. Okay, I think the reason it worked was because you like television. You like storytelling.
I do. I love a good story.
But yeah, my brother, he'll watch a show or two. But the thing is, there's so much entertainment. It's not even just television. It's not just
truly.
It's YouTube. It's TikTok. It's reading. Like he's a reader. There's so much. So I think the great thing, and we always talk about this, is that you can, of course, get some kind of glimpse of another culture, but also it just gives you a break because, for real, like, I'm not trying to watch reality television shows. So, like, sometimes you just get tired of what America is offering as far as television fare. Like, I'm not trying to watch Tyler Perry shows or movies. So, I love Bob and Abishola, but I can count on two hands the American shows I like, and they don't all come on at the same time. So there are seasons and ups and downs and stuff like that. And I think next week is the beginning of the new season. So, but American seasons don't work the way they used to. for television.
Oh, okay. Let's see, I don't
Right.
keep up with that now.
Right. And it's like, I don't even know what new shows are coming out. It's like, and in some ways, it's like I'm watching the same television, if I catch it, that my mother watches. So, like, she watches The Neighborhood and Bob and Abishola. So I like Bob and Abishola. I catch it when I catch it. I don't when I don't. There's a lot. So I'm not like Sung Rae. Sung Rae will straight up all day, every day watch, kid dramas. And you don't even hear English unless you go to work or you talk to your family or friends.
I watch NFL football, and football has just begun again. So, yes.
So there you go. See? But, hey, it is what it is. But, yeah, there are plenty of other shows. I finished, what is it, a Home Magazine, whatever that was.
Monthly Home Magazine.
Yep, I finished that.
That was good.
And I finished some stuff on Wiki. It's like, I don't even know how I watch these shows, but I do. I just started Yumi Cells. I enjoyed that. I just finished Your House Helper. I enjoyed that.
I missed the last one, Your What?
That was cute. I started.
You're kind of breaking up.
But I'm trying to decide if I like it or not. It's kind of
something else.
A little bit. How about you?
Something else. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, because I was like, you were kind of breaking up. I couldn't hear all of what you were saying.
You know what? I was looking at my phone and I pulled away.
Ah, okay. I'm like, she's not hearing me.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, Undateables finished. I liked it. And hopefully you heard the other ones. There was one other big one. Let me see if I can. Your House Helper. That was cute. That was really cute.
Your House Helper?
Yes. That's worth a watch.
Who was in that?
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Look, I'm asking for Rex like I need to add anything else.
Well, you kind of, you don't need to, but you are very, you eventually get to all those shows. So it has, remember, What's the Sad or whatever it was called, and we both watched, and he was like, kind of moved violently in the beginning with Chick, 1% or something. I think that was what it was called. Ha Suk Jin. He's cute. He's always cute.
Okay.
Bona is in it. She did well. Lee Ji Hoon. He was in it. Go Wang Hee. So.
Okay. I said okay because those are some cool people. I like them. Now, what is the name of this drama again?
Your House Helper. He's basically.
Is it old or is it new?
Let me look. Hold on, because I don't think it's new. 2018.
Okay. And
so
go ahead. He was basically, yeah.
Yeah, he's basically this organizational guru and a cleaner, and he starts doing that work. Like, he's hyper capable of doing that work. And so these three friends who hadn't talked for years, or actually it's four friends, but three of them hadn't talked for years. They've had a falling out, and they are clearly a messy group of friends because he ends up helping three of the four of them with their homes, and then they end up living together. And it gives me, frankly, search www, not in the girl power, but just in the friendship. And it's really good just because he's ornery and he comes in and he starts helping them each, because part of his philosophy is just like, yeah, I'm cleaning your house, but I'm also helping you put to rest some of your issues. And he's not directly trying to do that, but in the course of helping someone who has become a widower, for example, he helps them organize their stuff, and then eventually they go through it and like let go or fully mourn the person that they lost. You know, that happened more than once. He helped, a young family who, when the parents got divorced, the kids were having a problem dealing with it. So in small ways, he kind of inserts and helps and then steps back. And so it's fun. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Just look it up on Viki because it's.
And you said it's on Viki?
It's on Viki. If you're not feeling
Okay.
it, you're not feeling it. But it's cute. It's nice. It's restful. It's not. How like some dramas add too much like angst and anger and this doesn't do that. It has a suitable amount of drama and conflict, but it's not like overwhelming. So it's nice. But and
well, overall, yeah, because Undateables you had seen already, right? Wasn't that a rewatch?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it was your first time seeing it. Okay.
Yep.
Because remember, we had spoken about that in terms of I started it but didn't finish it for some reason because I don't know why, but I wasn't feeling it. I put it back in my watch list, so I'll try to pick it back up, but I'm not going to promise you.
Yeah, that one was from 2018 too. It was cute.
Yeah.
They were funny. Because it's very stylized, he's very man about town, very hyper capable. She's, not silly, but, definitely goofy. It's the only time I've ever seen a man try to flex some swagger and like throw some swagger by driving, in reverse. Cause she told him that one of the sexiest things that she's ever seen in a man is when they drive backwards, which kind of makes sense. Like a guy, like just being capable, I guess. I don't know. But, being able to handle a machine. Anyway, so at one point she's all kinds of hurt because she's like, you really don't like me. And she's walking away. He gets her in the car. And then all of a sudden he pulls forward. He stops. And then he looks at her and he starts driving backwards. Girl, I was like, oh, look at him driving backwards.
Hilarious.
Look at him moving in reverse. So, stupid. I'm stupid. Anyway, so what are you watching? Because your list is way longer than mine.
Nah, right now I'm looking at Lost, Rouge and Yo. Woohoo! Yeah, it's so fine. Oh my gosh. Anyway, the drama is very sad. There's no other way I could put that. It's sad. We're dealing with a guy who's lost a good friend of his and how he's dealing with that. Plus, I think his life choices. He's a gigolo. Girl, when I found out he was a gigolo, I thought I was going to die. So fuck, I was done. But anyway, right. What he's dealing with and, as far as his life choices and how he wound up where he is seems to like be kind of weighing him down. She was a author of some sort or editor, not really 100% sure, but someone stole her work and wrote a book and became super famous, and she's dealing with that because she's being called a troll and she's been called to the police office. Her husband's like semi-cheating on her. It's not really physical, but like the emotional shit of, you're with someone, you like them. He's trying to be, it's like, I can be opinionated if you hadn't caught on, but the husband is trying to give her olive bread. She is not taking shit he given, but then as you keep going on, you kind of learn why. Because at first she's coming across as like, damn, why you being so bitchy? But I'm also seeing now there's some underlying stuff there. So, she's just kind of closed off and dealing with her stuff. But I mean, it has not been any moment of happiness and in this show just yet. So I'm waiting for that to can we get a glimpse of something good? Because it's just been, sad. It's heavy. So I'm dealing with that show. That's Lost or Human Disqualified, depending on what you're watching.
Let me ask you this quick question. Do you think, given the number of episodes and where you may be in it, do you think they're just building all of that up so that then you see them kind of put themselves back together?
I'm hoping that's where we're going because it appears that she's met him and she's kind of leaning on him, being a complete stranger, leaning on him to kind of help her out in certain situations, and he's just been at the right places at the right time to be nosy enough to come and help her. Or she was having a phone conversation where she's screaming and hollering. She goes to the roof to jump, and he just happened to hear the screaming and hollering, and he ran to the roof too and was like, why kill yourself? Just don't answer the phone. Like, what you doing? So, that kind of stuff where they keep having these encounters. So I'm thinking that the two of them, I'm praying that the two of them don't have a relationship personally, but if so, it is what it is. But I'm hoping that they just help each other begin to mend their situations and become happy with themselves.
Wow. See, good for you for watching that, and I hope you do some kind of blog.
I just told you, I love Roo Jun Yeol. He is I like his acting choices. I like his personal choices. He's into Greenpeace and saving the world with conserving plastics. Like, when I like a person overall, their choices make me want to see, oh, what are you doing now? What are you acting in?
Right.
Same with applies for UIN. He's one of those people where I want to know what you're up to. I want to know what you're working on. I want to know what you're doing because you just give off that kind of energy.
Okay.
So that's one. Two, I'm also watching Lovers of the Red Sky. I'm thinking that
how
one.
is that? Because I saw someone recommended it to you, and then when I looked it up, I was like, oh, it's only historical. Let me step the heck away.
It's historical, but with a fantasy twist. So that's why I'm digging it. The fantasy is what's keeping me in.
So what is it? What's going on?
So right now you got these two people who've met, a guy and a girl, met each other when they were kids. He honestly, I don't know what the hell his dad was, to be honest, other than I think he was like a spiritual helper for the king, and her father was like the world painter. And so that's how they were able to meet, because their parents knew each other from work. Her dad fell off because they had this demon that came through, and the demon possessed her dad as well. And so he's been dealing with that kind of crazy and, having these attacks and spells. And other dude's father saw him and was like, oh, well, let's, hang out for a minute. So the kids went and they hung out together and they kind of hit it off. But that same day or that same period, something happened spiritual again, where she was a blind child. She was able to see and he became blind, but his blindness gave him red eyes. So she, met him again as an adult, and she didn't know he had become blind because they never got a chance to meet up again. And now they're refinding out and reconnecting and realizing they were the kids who met each other. And, okay, where are we going from here? So thus far, I'm enjoying the show. It's a whole lot of stuff going on, but I'm enjoying it. Their romance is really nice. The way I put it is I've squealed a few times, and you got to be doing some shit to make me squeal. So I like that one. I'm also looking at Hogu's Love or Fool's Love. It's called by both terms. I had to go doing some super digging to find it again, because my initial watch was on Samsung TV, because I've got Samsung, and the shows just come on because I've got access to Asian Crush, something called K Movies or K something, CJEEMN, and they all show, dramas and movies. And so I just happened to catch it one day, and it was episodes 1 through 8. So I watched, I did a day binge. Anyway, once I got to 8, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to find this again because I need to finish. I can't, stop right here. So I was able to find it again. I'm not going to say where because I don't want to blow the spot up and look up and then it disappears and I can't finish the drama. So if you know me, hit me up on DMs. If not, sorry, go search. Hopefully you find it. No offense. Love you guys. But that's real,
that's what we talked about. We talked about how, we're going back to the Stone Ages with this, because for a while that it was it's getting better because you could see actual apps, right? And that's always great, and we appreciate the apps we have. But there's so many dramas that we're all watching where we can't find them anywhere, and then you end up going to Drama Cool, and you don't know what kind of viruses you get from that site.
Man.
So that's why I'm if you talk up a show, and it's not obvious to where you can get it a Netflix or a Kokawa or something like that, please say where you got it, or give a hint or say I am or whatever, because it's real. It's real when you got to go to, specific sites or, even YouTube, for example. YouTube dropped some various shows, like whole shows, and especially Japanese ones. So that's just a heads up. Like, make sure you check out
Facebook,
YouTube too.
because Facebook is another place. But again,
Right.
like I'm one of the things like I'm saying, and why I won't call it out loud is because you'll look up, you'll start a show, and then all of a sudden they pulled it down, and now fuck, I can't watch the rest of that. So yeah, I don't want to play myself. I want to be able to finish this drama first.
Right. Look, you're clearly selfishness. You want to watch it before it blows up, and then they tear it down. But yeah, it's like Facebook. You'll join certain groups, and they'll be like putting out shows, and then all of a sudden you like, did I get kicked off?
Right.
What happened? So it's and that's why I appreciate journalists, because they'll tell the obvious ones, like they have a whole section if they know where the show is being broadcast. But sometimes in those reviews, they're kind enough to say, this is where I watched it.
Exactly.
And so if you can do that too, if you're in my drama list and you are doing reviews, say where you watched it, especially if it's legit, because it helps.
Because like even
really
with this one, Hogu's Love, they put down that it was on Amazon Prime. So both myself and something else went to Amazon Prime and found, it's there, but you can't watch it in America.
Right.
Now, I'm not sure if that's all over, but here in America, content unavailable. So I'm like, what the hell? You got all the episodes here. You got episode synopsises for each episode. You got time limits. All the stuff is there, but you just can't push play. What the heck? So, yeah, that's annoying.
It's rude. It's super rude. So the hustle is real, always and forever. It's like, don't you wish there was just one place where everything existed? Yes, but that's a dream.
I know.
And the hustle is real. And go get yourself, when we see you in the streets, throw your K-drama and J-drama gang sign, because, we have to do the tough things out here to find our shows. It's hard out here for a K-drama addict. It's hard out here for a K-drama addict.
Who you telling? Yumi Sales, I'm going to also go ahead and give it 2 thumbs up. I'm digging it right now, only 2 episodes in, but something else meant that she was watching it and I am as well, and I'm really loving it, just the mixture of the anime and the live action. And then, although someone called Yumi boring, I find her to be interesting in that some of what she's saying is not so much in her Jesus, I'm about to tear her name up. What is her name? Something else.
I can't remember. I don't know names. I just know faces.
He gets
so crazy because when I talk to some people, they're like, how do you tell these actors and actresses alike? Because some of them really look the same. That's what they mean, not like because they're Asian. But I'm like, I can tell the difference between faces. For the most part, the names are scaring me. Like, I feel I'm intimidated by names.
It's Kim Go-eun. So it's not even Kim Go-eun. It's not even so much her, but like her cells that are speaking for her. And I think that's what makes her character interesting and fun to me thus far.
But what are they saying, that she's boring?
Someone shared that, and I just thought that was an interesting take. Like, wow, boring? I don't know if I think she's boring. Go ahead.
I think she is boring a little bit. The reason I say I think she's boring is because I think she's closed off emotionally after she was hurt. So when you see her at work, she's closed off a bit. Like she's just all about work. Because I even looked at her at work and I was like, damn, I wish I could be like that at work, where you just focus on the numbers and you're not cracking a joke or you're not saying anything, you're just doing the work. I think she's that way because she ran through the rain trying to catch up with dudes, which is the ultimate embarrassment. And then found out that he had a whole and complete girlfriend and a white car. Like, it's real. So I think, what I love about the show, other than, I agree with you, the animation, I love that. That's super cute. Because they're so detail oriented about like the different types of emotions that I'm like, oh, thank you for that. Like, this is, and that's
what I was saying, is that I think her cells speak for her. So while her character might seem at this present second kind of bland, those cells are giving us the back of her, the inside of her, the feeling of her, the, wait a minute, this is too much, or the what drives her. So that's how come I haven't found her boring just yet. And I mean, again, we're at the very beginning, so it just opened up this weekend. But I find her character, herself, has been what has given her more oomph for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because let's look at it the flip side. If she didn't have the cells speaking for her, then they would have written the character to be more emotive. And she would have even talked to herself. You know how like some of the characters will talk to themselves?
Exactly.
They would have found some way to balance that out. But when you have a whole cast of side characters who are speaking to her emotions, she doesn't need to, say anything. And she doesn't want to play. Like we're so used to like these female leads being extra cutesy that we don't know what to do when she's just doing what she's supposed to do. Like we all walk around and don't click our heels and go, how could he say no to me? Like we're not doing some over the top stuff when we're walking around. She's walking around like a normal person. But we know that she has emotions. We know that she feels things, that she goes left instead of right. What I love about the end of the first episode was they finally like broke out. I don't know what that character is called, but basically sincerity or something, or like honesty or whatever that emotion is. Because she looked dead at dude and she was like, I want to go out with you. I want it to be just the two of us.
Right, because I was so pissed with old girl talking about she's uncomfortable. Heifer don't speak for me. I'm like, when is she going to speak up? You thinking it? Say it. So when she said, I was like, yes.
Right, and it took, it wasn't even figurative. I mean, you actually see it. It took blowing up a whole mind in her spirit for her to be like, okay, let me jump out there. Because think about the average person. Like, would you feel comfortable when you just are crushing on a coworker going, yeah, I want to be alone with you? No, I would not say that like that. I would be like, texting him all over the place. Like, let's see how you move. Okay, let me throw out this. We all play those games, those communication games, those like nonverbal games. Like, so why are we surprised that she's doing it also? Why are we surprised that she's like not being extra forthcoming when she was turned down?
It wasn't even for me the forthcomingness with him. I think it was for me if we're gonna go here and it's a drama I'm watching and the girl uses the terminology of being at war. And when you're doing the dating thing, it's a war going on of different games, a game of table tennis, a game of block, a game of, they call it go stop, but whatever, different types of games you're playing. And so in this, I laughed because they were in the middle of a game. Old girl was trying to throw her game because she wanted to be with him and block her, while Yumi was, crushing on him and not even paying attention to the fact that old girl was doing what she was doing till it got obvious. So now that it's obvious and old girl is steady saying, she's uncomfortable, maybe it's okay, it's natural for her to be uncomfortable. I wanted her to shut her down. I ain't even give a damn about him at this point. Shut her down because, no ma'am, don't speak for me. Don't tell anybody how I feel. If I have something to say, I'll say it, and if I don't, it's not for you to speak on, but don't try to put words in my mouth or speak for me. I'm good. I got this.
Well, and see, the thing is, I think that was born from a history of Yumi being quiet. Because here's the thing, too, because at first I was like, okay, Yumi, if you're checking for him, like, haven't you paid attention to his movements to be like, like, by the time you get to this point, I'm like, isn't this a bit late for you, for all of this to be going down? Like, I was like, if you've been crushing on him, haven't you checked out the scene, like, moved forward a little bit? And then I realized he's younger than she is, too, and they're so sensitive about, like, differences in age, and she don't want to look like the older sister, like macking on this young guy, making him feel uncomfortable. There's just so many levels and layers to it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you come to find out what you come to find out, and then you're like, yeah, she was brokenhearted, but when she's sitting at the table and she finds out what she finds out about him, I was like, I'd have been happy. I've been like, oh, for real? Okay. I'd have been like, dope. Thank you. This makes sense. It's all good. I'm trying not to give stuff away at all.
I know, right? Because I'm going, it just came out, so I'm going to be quiet.
Right,
Because
right.
you know I get agitated when people tell the whole damn story up top.
Right. Well, let's just say, like, she should not feel bad. Now, from the other
Exactly.
end, we meet a new character, and when I say he is hilarious to me, but fine as fine can be, good for him, good for his parents and their teams. Oh, I was like, dude, you gonna see her being closed off and him being closed off. That's gonna be a recipe for disaster. So I can't wait.
Yes, I'm excited to continue watching this. I'm loving it thus far.
Right. So, and there are other shows, I think we each tend to run through a number of shows and then have to backtrack when we do the blog entry for the month, because I even thought to myself, do I need to go and update that blog entry, because there's shows that I didn't know I was going to watch, I knocked out, and I'm like,
I know, right?
Slide that in so that things know, this is a good show, or at least put it on the love it or hate it list and say, this show was wonderful, or this show was awful. So we're always working on this stuff, always trying to be better. But please follow, share, all that good stuff so that you can keep up with when we do drop stuff. when we comment and you see, you can always talk to Sun Ray because she's on social media, and you'll see my videos when I drop them. My screenshots and stuff like that, my ratchetness. If you follow us, you know what the ratchetness is. Anyway, so
and honestly, I just wanted to take a moment to tell you guys thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you for communicating with us, sharing your thoughts, telling us how you guys feel about things. Thank you for just, being you. We love you guys and we appreciate you.
Yes, ditto, definitely. So anyway, I could go on and start talking about the new show I was watching, that Japanese one where I dropped that. Did you see the latest image I dropped? The
no,
video?
I have not. No.
Girl, okay, so I'm going to try and end it here because there's not much to it. But there's this show that I just started on Netflix called Kentaro, the Sweet Tooth Salaryman. And it's about this dude who loves sweets. And so he switched jobs just so that he could fit in, his sweet addiction, going to these restaurants and enjoying sweets. And that first episode, when I tell you, they did some straight up soft porn type stuff. And so when I saw it, I was cracking up. And I was watching it with my family, or I was watching it and my family turned around. They were like, what the hell is this? And I was like, that's Japanese dramas because they freaky. And so then I happened to be trying to get to the next episode, and I saw that portion again because it was really nice. And so I was like, well, let me share it with the fam, because let me see what they have to say. And there are a whole bunch of folks who saw it, but no one is commenting.
Oh, maybe no one else
has
has seen the drama.
Maybe no one else has seen the drama, but even when you watch the little clip that I shared, ma'am, you watch that clip and tell me what you think.
Okay, I'm on my way to watch it as soon as we end, because no, I have not.
It's a trip. It's a trip. It is a super trip. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and look out for our next podcast episodes and what else we're doing. So have a good one.
Have a good one. Bye.